Says I'm live, but I hope it works. Alrighty. It's been a while. Well, let's wait for people to slowly join in and then get started. Because right now we are just slowly building it up. Alright. Okay. So yeah, it's been a little while since I last streamed. I am not quite sure where things will be headed. Sorry, just moving my drink in a better position. Well, I don't know if anybody's watching yet, but for anybody who is watching this video later on, yeah, it's been busy time, busy year. Unfortunately, not as much time for my YouTube channel as I would have liked. I did do the tutorial on getting started with OpenXR the other day, and I do plan to do some more videos in that series. We actually have some really exciting stuff happening there. We have a new contributor since a couple of weeks on the Godot XR Tools project called Malcolm. He actually has a YouTube channel as well. I need to remember to put a link to his YouTube channel in the description later on, where he posts some of the updates that he's doing and some of the things that he's working on. And he's doing a lot of fun things with the XR Tools library. So he's taken all the stuff that I've built and is really starting to enhance it and complete it and do some funky things with it. Some of the main stuff that he has finished so far is to get all sorts of movement logic in there. So the old direct movement function that I put in, where you could use your joystick to move around. There's a lot of stuff that's been improved there, which allows you to do stuff like fly around, be affected by wind forces, properly moving up and down and around slopes, and even a climbing mechanic. So I did a video a little while ago on how to implement climbing in VR, and I took that and embedded that into the XR Tools library. So now you can just turn on climbing and you can start climbing on stuff. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool stuff. So hiya Volcano, how are you going? Thank you for joining. So yeah, that's some exciting things. I've been bums up head down on all the stuff in Godot 4 lately. So last year I actually ended up doing a lot more in the OpenXR plugin than was originally planned. But that's all live now. That's all in production. So pretty happy about that. That's running really well on the Quest. Oh, by the way, I have a fan running in the background. I hope that's not coming across on the sound. So if that is a problem, let me know and I'll turn it off. But hopefully it's not coming through the audio. So yeah, so I've been working on the plugin last year mostly, and that's all in pretty good shape. The other thing that obviously took most of my time towards the end of the year is making XR work in Godot 4. So that's pretty much all in place as well. The only thing that I still need to do is some work on the UI stuff, so that you can configure action maps and stuff like that. And mainly, that was almost done plugin wise. But I got halted because we decided to move everything into the core. That's all done. So you don't need a plugin anymore for Godot 4. You just take a tick box. Say you want OpenXR support in Godot 4, and it's up and running. A little bit more involved than that, but basically it is that. Just tick some tick boxes and do the normal initialization, and all of a sudden everything's just running. Still a lot of polish needed to be done, but it's all in place. And the other big thing, which actually happened today or yesterday, not sure, but all the multi-view work that I did last year, and that was all focused on the mobile renderer, now also got added to the clustered renderer, so the desktop renderer. So we now have VR support in the desktop renderer in Godot 4, and there's still a lot of rough edges on that, but it's working quite nicely if you stay within the limits of what it can do. And obviously we're going to start enhancing on that and building on that, and doing some fun things there. So yeah, exciting times ahead. For tonight's video, I'm going to stray away from XR for a little bit. There's been a whole heap of things reported on my GitHub page around some of the demo projects that I've made over the last couple of years to support my videos. Let me just get a bit of water. And well, I haven't touched them for a little while, so they need a little bit of TLC to get them back up and running, because there's been some breaking changes in Godot 3 that we need to start looking at. So let's go and start the import, because I cleaned everything out so that I could start from scratch. Now let's hope that I so many projects. Where is my... Here we go. Import and edit. So let's see if that still all works. There we go. It's still all there. Because there's a bunch of things here that we need to look at before this will actually run. And mostly around all the tracks. Now, it's been a while since I last looked at this. So... let's go have a look. That's just my base track. All right, so let's go and start with my test track. And here's going to be a horrible thing. Take a minute to load. Here we go. Our test track, and almost everything's missing. Ooh boy. Oh, my view isn't far enough. So let's go and up that a bit. There we go. Now we can see the whole thing. Perfect. My whole track is missing. Oops. Yeah, that ain't good. And that is because the path logic in Godot 3.4 has radically changed. It's changed for the better, but unfortunately, the original default settings were a bit wrong. Let me move my... hey, Remy, how you going? Thank you for joining. That's just my curve. I actually need to look at my CSG node here, and we will see that a couple of things have been added and changed. Now, one of the biggest changes, and this is actually, it's a breaking change, but it's a really good change, is that you no longer need to invert the faces to get the correct results. So, yeah. Oh, and it looks like they fixed up the defaults a little bit. That's really nice. So before, it was always creating by default the CSG track, or the CSG thing inside out. So yeah, that was not very good. So yeah, if you've got an existing project, you need to turn that the other way around. Now it looks like some of the defaults have changed, because originally, when I first tried this out, the whole track was gone. It was actually breaking up wrong. So let's have a look at the other one. So interval type, I think that is indeed distance. The fact that it's completely... is that because I've got it selected? No, it does look like the image is wrong because it's repeated wrong. So we do have those settings wrong as well. And I just need to remember what the things are. So we're doing a path. It's that path node. It's supposed to be path follow. We want continuous U. That's correct. We want to join the path. That's good. We don't want smooth faces because it's a road. It's not a round object. Okay, yeah. So that's not distance based. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. All right, cool. But there's another setting that's supposed to be in here. Where did that go? Where's the optimized setting? Or has it actually... No, because we can see the lines in there. So it's not being optimized. We do get... I believe that... oh yeah, simplify angle. That's the one that I'm looking for. So simply it's now off when it's 0. How cool is that? So if we put that, say, on 5, boom. And I actually need to go and deselect that. Does that work? Do we still see it? No, it's really hard to see. That's a bit of a shame. Actually, if we invert it just for fun, yeah, we can see it now very properly. Actually, let's go and hide the ground for a minute. There we go. Should have had the outside hidden too. But what we're seeing, why am I not getting my movement right? What we're seeing is instead of it being broken up in lots of polygons, and again, it's pretty hard to see because, yeah, because the road texture is there. Let's get the ground back. It was actually giving a better thing. But it's basically optimizing the... Can I have a wireframe? That should work. Where's my wireframe version? There we go. Now we can see it. Now I do want to get the ground out of there. Look at that. Now we can see it. So we're going to go back to the road, and we turn that back to 0. Where are you? This one? We can see that every 2.5 meters, we get a new section of road. And it's breaking it up. But when we have a simplify angle, it's going to find any joined polygon in here and check the angle between the two polygons. And if it's within that 5-degree angles, it's going to merge those polygons. So all of a sudden, we see that our road is a fully optimized polygon now, which is way better than it was before. Let's turn that back on. Because the next thing, well, we obviously need to fix that road in a minute as well. Because the next thing that we do have to do is that we need to change our U distance. So right now, our U distance is 1 meter. So 1 meter is how the texture is tiled. This needs to be much more. So let's say 10. That's probably too much. Now, it looks like it's scaling it in both directions, maybe. I don't know. 2, 3, 4. That's really weird. Because that is definitely not working the way that it's supposed to. That's just stretching it out. Okay, now that could be because it used to be flipped around, and I used to have a shader on this. I do. And if I look at my road shader, I will see that I've got the X and Y swapped. So let's swap that one back. Okay, that's not quite what I had in mind. I am probably... Oh, because I've got scale on this one. Alright, so I probably don't want to actually scale it like that. I want to probably just scale it inside of here. And then fix up my shader back to flipping that around. Is that indeed the way that I want it to be? Oh, now I remember. That's why that thing was 0.25, because there are 4 sections of the road, and it needs to map that to that. That's so weird. Oh, this one I was stressing this. That definitely needs to be continued to you, but I think that's the problem that I now have. I think the problem that I now have is that this is no longer... This is also being scaled. Should that be the other way around? No? Get this. Am I doing the wrong one? No. Because the thing that I'm expecting is to see the lines on the road. If that texture is properly set over the width of the road, I should be seeing. Because that was the problem that we were seeing when we did this. When we flipped it the wrong way around, we can see that it's being repeated. can see those lines in there. So they're supposed to be at the side of the road. That is why this is being swapped. But then the scale is not right. So what should that scale be? Put that back to 1. Maybe it's going the wrong way around. Okay, this isn't making a whole lot of sense. Unless I am doing the wrong. I am doing the wrong. Okay. It's so strange. This is about where we need to be. 8. Can I explain 8? Does that make sense? For it to actually be... Because that's exactly how we need to be. Let me check how wide is this road. It might actually be 8 meters wide. And that might actually be explaining why, with that setting, it is the correct width. How can we quickly test that? We can quickly add in a box. Oh, I didn't want to make a CG. Alright, start again. Mesh instance. Thank you very much. Where's that? So that's over there. Okay. Move that up. Make a box. And let's make the box 8 wide. How wide is the road? Well, beats me. It's about 14 wide. So you would expect that the multiplication should be 7. What happens if I put it on 7? No, it doesn't look right. So why does 8 look right? I don't know. I'm not complaining because it's what I want. But yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. Alright, now I also want to do the distance better. Because obviously now it's all squashed in lengthwise. Maybe do that one 8 as well. No, that's the other way around. So maybe do that. No, that's starting to look a lot better. It's always a bit of playing until you get that to look sort of right, but I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, let's put the ground back in there. And let's go and fix our other road. Now, obviously, in this case, we don't have to worry for that road. We don't have to worry about the shader because it's going to copy its settings from the other one. It's using the same one. And there is our thing. Oh, our finish line is inside out as well, so we need to fix that up. But actually, all these things, I think, are paths as well. They will also be wrong. So, again, we need to just invert the faces. Invert the faces. Invert the faces. That is just every lamppost. Those are just cylinders, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not too worried about those. Hey, Frogo, how you going? Yeah, permutation programming for sure, Akian. Uh, it is a weird one, that one though. I kind of like it when I can explain why. The only thing that I can think of is that the total circumference is something. Then again, the fact that I need to multiply the length of the track, the UV repeat there, by 0.1. I don't know. It's a weird one. It probably has a logical explanation, but beats me what it is. I do like my little stand thingy. I'm still very proud of how I've done that. Random generated group of people sitting. Sometimes they do get some interesting duplicates, so I need more people for that. Anyway, the rest all looks pretty good. I think the pebbles are too big, but that's okay. I even have all the trees in here. That's really cool. Yeah, pretty happy with how I did that. Are there more things that are using stuff? What's this one? Wall. Yeah, it looks like it's the outer wall. So this is the inner one. So we should be. Oh, that's just a little wall underneath. Okay. It's just done a multi-mesh. I'm guessing that's all those. Fence top. So these are all. Oh, because it's just a straight line. That's why I didn't use path there. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm not too unhappy about that. So what about the chicanes? Because I think they are not working either. Now that's a subscene. So here again, invert. Why is there? Oh, without a example, we don't get to see it, do we? We have a path here. Can't really see what the path is, though. Did it get destroyed or something? Or is that because I need to add a path here? That might be the case. Yeah, exactly. I needed to add the path here. So the curve is done there. So maybe... Oh, so what else is wrong with my polygon here? I've done the invert shape. Okay, we do have a shape there. That's good. Follow, it's on distance. Hey Drago Games, how you going? Long time no see. Alright, what am I missing here? Did I save it? Is that what I'm doing wrong? Do I just need to reopen this? I have my path there. Okay. I got my CSG polygon, which is... Yeah. So this is doing that one. Okay. Now I remember something about this. Oh, that's the wrong thing. So what am I doing wrong here? Subdivide, that's not going to make a difference. Let's actually move this in here after all, so that we can play around with the settings and see what happens. So that shouldn't matter. Maybe because this is way too much. No. I don't mind a simplify angle in there. Why is this not working? This does not make any sense. We've got our base shape there. So I want to make that go up a bit so I can see actually what's going on here. What is my path? Oh, Yeah, obviously I don't want to move that up. Move this one up. So I can see my curve. My curve is there. So why is it not extruding? Oh, okay. There we go. Here it is. All right. Okay, okay. Okay. Let's move that back down where it belonged. Let's make that no longer edible children. Goodbye. And now we're gonna go and change it here. So it's gonna be path local. I do want to make that less. I do want to make that more. And that means that we now have chicanes on both sides. I don't know why it's suddenly dipping into the ground here. That's really interesting. That's strange. That's funky. Okay. Now, what sort of materials in here? Because... oh, that's just a texture that's being repeated. Alright, that's pretty cool. I think I kind of like the way that repeats. That's fine. We're happy about that. Hey, Lamberto, how are you going? How's things in Italy? Alright, so I think that's the chicanes fixed. So that's just a... I think that is all fine. I don't think there's any problems there. I think the stands are fine, but we need the finish line. That one is also broken. So let's go in here and again invert that, but also our shader is wrong there because that is just a normal texture. Have I got a UV over here? No, that was actually fine. Maybe this one. The other way around. Maybe do the magical 8 again. Wow, that 8 does work pretty well. I don't know why, but I'm becoming a big fan of 8. Again, I have no idea why 8 is so special, but yeah, that is working. Alright, what's this thing supposed to be? It's a mesh. I thought that was supposed to have some sort of funky material. But it doesn't. Here. Oh, that has a screen space thing. Oh. Okay, that's new. Doesn't like that. That was really weird. Okay, now that's not going to do anything in here because there's nothing underneath. But, oops, if we go back to our track, we now have that in there. So what we're doing there, this is my, and you actually can see that those are now fixed as well. That is my my very cheap little decal, screen space decal implementation that I made a little while ago. It's pretty cool because, oops, it's not the right one. Oh, it is actually, because you can see that it always stays on there. It's actually a bigger plane, and it's just projecting itself onto the road. So yeah, that's pretty cool. No. And especially for these, it just allows me to put a decal down, and that's like that. Yeah, so yeah, it's actually projecting a texture onto the surface that's underneath. Pretty cool. Pretty well. Hey, Godzilla, how you going? I'm not doing too bad. A little tired, slight, but yeah, doing some maintenance work I've been postponing for a while. So yeah, that is looking pretty good. That one's in the wrong place. I must have accidentally upset this thing. Why is that suddenly too high? I must have accidentally moved that. Maybe like this. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I must have accidentally moved that one. Because now it is sitting where it's supposed to sit. That was funky. Is that correct? Fence. That looks like its material is not. Okay, I've got a scale on that. So, oh, here we go. There we go. Again, that magical 8. I flabbergasted by it, but 8 seems to be the magic number, so keep using 8. Because yeah, I've got this little transparent wire mesh texture on that one, which is pretty neat. I like that one. All right. So our track is slowly starting to look the way that it's shooting at. That one looks good. Trying to remember what other things I've done here that that use a CSG, but I don't think there's anything else in this track. So let's go and have a look at the other one that I've got in here. This is my old test track. Ooh, that looks pretty nasty. Let's see how this does not line up very well. And I remember that was part of the problem that this thing had. Interesting how it's banked. This one has got some banking in it. I didn't even know you could bank it. Anyway, but everything again is inside out. So let's go and see if we can fix that up. Okay, we need to go into our track here. Code. So let's start with doing that. Let's also do the ground. Oh, we don't have that here. At least start with changing all these things out. It's one railing. The other railing. The posts, I think, are fine. Why is our railing all the way on the ground? Oh, I think the railing is actually in the right spot. But because we've got banking in here, I don't think the banking is being taken into account with positioning our posts, which might just be a result of our path not yet being updated. I don't know. Okay. Is that one of the other settings that it was doing? Let's actually do our simplify angle first, because that's definitely going to make a lot of difference in performance. Simplify angle. Although this one is. Should it also all be? I think so. I don't think it matters with this one, as long as they're all the same. Let's just do that for all, so they're all the same. Okay. Alright. This is so strange. Let's move that back a little bit. So why is the road not working? I think it's because the ground is sort of colliding with it at the moment. Oh, right, that's the caps that were introduced. That's right. Yep, that explains it, Aiken. That's a good one. All right, so now the good thing is that obviously the banking information in the track is working, which was one of the things that was never really that well done. But so ideally I want to have these two be exactly in the same spot. Now that's nearly impossible to obtain in this interface. Because the closer these are, the better it works. Although, again, the banking information is not the same between the two. But how do we edit the banking? That's the problem. Because only then they will match up. Have to be slightly apart so that we do get the ability to join them up. How do we edit the banking? Again, do we have a PR outstanding somewhere for someone actually adding a gizmo so we can edit the banking of this thing? Now, mind you, we still have that the poles aren't taking the banking into account. Even though I think that thing is. Doesn't look like it's the shape that I remember making that. Arvin, these are like the like this project, which is my my vehicle demo project that I've got on my YouTube as tutorials. And they were made with older versions of Godot 3, and because the path follow node, the CSG polygon node was changed in 3.4, I need to go back and sort of fix up problems like you see on screen right now, where where things are getting a little bit weird and wacky. Problem that I now have is I need to figure out how can I change the banking of these two things. Now, is there because even if we put the banking at least for the start and ending points on 0, then it'll kind of match up, I guess. So what's this thing called again? Path. Let's go and see path. Now, path is using a curve, so we actually need to go to curve. That's in, out. So we have a tilt that we can set. So I think for the first and the last one, we need to set the tilt. Now, do we have a thing that gives us how many points we have? Get point count. There we go. All right, so we're going to assume that the first one is 0. All right, so where's my update track? Update. It's 30. Cool. Fix, start, and end tilt. All right, so curve dot set tilt. There we go. 0 is going to become 0. No semicolon. And we need to do that also for curve dot get point count. And I'm guessing that needs to be -1. Okie dokie. So is that now I guess the tilt is 0, but it's not listening to it because it's adjusting it for the first one. Or is it 0.1 that we start with? Tell us. No. That position. Unless it's just not working. Cold enough. Oh, there we go. Turn it up. Well, I hope I don't distract you too much from your work, but yeah, I hope that you learn something from this. Not that I know what I'm doing right now, because this is definitely not doing what I thought it would do. I just make this crazy because I just want to see if it actually works. It's actually doing something, or not, as the case may be. It doesn't really seem to have adjusted the tilt at all. So now the other thing is that's possible is that it's because of the way we use the path follow. No, it's still. Oh, wait. Okay, so I've now basically put it onto the normal path follow mode. And I think the result is that that takes the tilt out of it. And actually, for what I'm doing here right now, I don't mind that. So maybe I'll do that just as a fix for now. And just take that out. But it would be nice to fix that tilt logic at some point, because being able to bank the track is a nice feature. Well, that fixed everything. That said, okay, I'm just going to hide all these for now, and I'm just going to concentrate on the road. I'm going to go back to path follow and actually see what we're doing. All right, so am I doing something wrong here? Set path tilt. Is that in radians? Tilt angle in in radians. Okay, hang on. Back to rad. Okay. It's not like it's done anything. That's the weird part of it. Let's just do that for 0.1 and see what happens then. Where's 0.1? Oh, 0.1 is definitely banked now. That is definitely a bank. Okay. What if I do that at 45-degree angle? Does that change much? I do think I need to move it before. Well, let's go the other way. It's not going to update until I actually do something with the track, I think. It doesn't really seem to do anything. Unless... What I'm wondering about is the update actually being called when the curve changes? Where's my ready function? Call default update. On path curve changed. So is that set up? Ah, that's over here. Okay. So yep. That is definitely doing something. But I was expecting it to do. Oh, yeah. That's right. No. That wasn't the one that I want. Okay. That's that. Oh, that's the one I need to. Okay. I have a sneaking suspicion that tilt is either being ignored or it's just not working. Now the question is this the last one or is this the first one? Were we looking at the wrong one? That's of course also a possibility. So let's have a look at that. So then it would be that point. No, I think the tilt just isn't working. Okay. So if the tilt is not working, are we having the wrong settings somewhere? I do want continuous U on this. Off joined. Okay. Well, I think that's just the only way that I can do this right now. I don't want to bring these closer together so that our gap doesn't look wrong. There we go. We also need to fix up the UV on this thing now. I don't have a UV adjustment here. Okay, uniform. Back to scale is back to. No, that's the other way around. Oh. Yeah. Ah, there we go. Something better. Yeah, that is looking way better. All right. Okay. There we go. Pretty happy about that. Oh, that was right. Oh, then. That's the shape I'm going for. Okay. So, how does that work for a track here? Good enough, I think. Yeah, it's a shame that that banking isn't working properly. That does seem to me to be a bit of a bug, that it's either is not setting the tilt right or it's just not listening to the tilt. Or, the path follow because of the way that automatically adjusts the orientation might be overriding the tilt. That's also possible. But then I would have expected the normal path to update the tilt. So that is a little bit strange. Anyway, that track isn't being used, I think. Let's see if our project actually will run. That's fine, Mr. Defender. You can do that. See if I remember how this works again. There we go. That's the steering. Alright. Oh yeah, I need to introduce a clutch at some point, because that was a really slow start in the first gear. Can't remember how to drive this thing. I haven't played this for so long, it's not funny. But it is still working. So... Oh, but my speedometer isn't. Maybe because I lost that change. That's possible. Oh. Oh. Because I was working on that on the last video, and I don't think I ever checked that into the... Back up a bit. So a bit of a problem channel. This is really interesting. It doesn't have any power under a certain RPM. Which is logical, because normally you would need to use your clutch that way, but since we never implemented a clutch, that's not working on this. I'm just checking if this all works actually. Yeah, I am still pretty proud of my stands. Alright, so that's all working. Do I want to test if this works in VR? The problem is I've run out of USB ports. So if I switch on VR, then I lose my trackpad or my gamepad. What is this running anyway? Is this on the Open VR thing? Yes, it is. Why is extra tools in here? Do I even use that? I don't even think I use that. Well, I might as well at least make sure that it starts up properly. So let's plug in my Vive. Where is the plug for it? Here we go. There we go. Yeah, gear -1 for reverse. It's just a counter that's showing. It's not actually showing lookup value or something like that. There are a lot of ways to improve on that. All right, so where is my XR? No, not my XR tools. Let's go here. I need to clean it up if I copy that one. Oh well. Because I don't have everything there. So the best thing to do is actually go into GitHub. Godot VR, Godot OpenXR. And let's just download the latest release. Looks like I have an older file there. Alright, that's downloading. That means I'm just going to close this back to the project list. Yes, please. No. Where is my thingy? Why am I going to the wrong folder? I got way too many folders here. Here we go. Vehicle demo, add-ons. That's actually the old folder name. Ah, that's a problem. Okay. So, where are we? Vehicle. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Big. No, it is still called dash XR. I thought we had turned it into underscore. Okay, that's fine. Then I don't need this yet. Because obviously I don't want to change that thing while we are in the project. That's going to be messy if we do that. So grab that out of the zip file, copy the new version in place. There we go. Now we can open it back up. But I do need to fix it up. So, there we go. Okay, come on. Oh, it's importing those bloody GLAW files. At some point, I need to put smaller versions of those textures in there. They're crazy big. Especially for this project, because we're not even using it in this project. Here we go. All right, so that's desktop. Where did I put my where did I put those? No. No. Startup. Oh, yeah, I have my input map thing that I was working on. Dang it. This is what you get when you don't work on a project for a little while. You forget where everything is. Maybe here we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. So, oh, we've got our own AR/VR camera here. Okay. So I'm not using the full OpenXR setup. Well, that's fine. That actually works in my favor in this case. But I do need to look at if there's anything extra that I want to put in here for it to work. Maybe not. Oh, 1 second, guys. I do actually need to my parents have been married for 49 years, so just letting my sister know. Congratulations and stuff like that. So, anyway, yeah, in 4 it's faster and it's running in a separate thread, so pretty damn cool. What was I doing when we were so interestingly interrupted? Oh yeah, I was looking at the script here just to make sure that there isn't something else that I need to do. Well, we don't care about pass-through. We don't really care about the signals at this point in time. We don't care about any of those things. It will be nice at some point to integrate that, but for now, I think that is enough. So let's see if this actually works. Now, obviously, I'm gonna lack input because I don't have my controller. I don't know if I've actually made. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Is it starting up? Yeah, it is starting up. And of course, B to center. I can't press B to center because I don't have a B to click. I might actually try and see if this will work. Might overpower my hub. I don't know. Let's see. I do have one more on my. There we go. Now it's working. There we go. It's saying press B to center headset. Yay! I can see it. Now, which button does it think is B? Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. That one. Okay, because I have a different type of controller here. So that's definitely still working. But my triggers are not. I can't. Oh, no, because I am not in gear. Here we go. It is still working. Haha. Cool. Come on, little car. Go and get some speed. Now, I don't have any info in my thing. But, so I can't see what gear I am in and stuff like that. But, I'm driving, so. This is, yeah, this is pretty cool, actually. I think I'm sitting slightly too low in this car. Whoa, hit the wall. Yeah, the steering inputs are definitely way too sensitive. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. You back me up. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I do need to do something about the initial pulling away. And I can really see that the background texture is way too low resolution. Should really see about adding some blur effect to that. Because boy, that looks ugly. I can totally see the JPEG compression on the top of the hills. Okay, that's enough trying that out. At least that's all working with the latest VR stuff. There we go. Right, I'm just going to take that out again because then it is going to overpower some stuff. If you die in VR, you die for real. Yeah, I definitely need to need to implement some stuff to actually fine tune where you're sitting in the car and how high you are and stuff like that. Don't know if any of you have ever played Drive Club, but why is Steam VR not finding both of my both on? It's only finding one of the lighthouses. That explains why the tracking was a little bit iffy. Anyway, yeah, no, there's so much to improve in this game, especially in VR. And like I said, I don't know if anybody's ever played Drive Club VR, but that game had some really excellent stuff in there. So I was pretty happy with that. Oh, just an internal one. Okay, so that should be a bunch of improvements. Let's go and put those into GitLab. Boom. Commit -m updated project Godot 3.4.3 and added newest no, added OpenXR plugin 1.2.0. Boom. Let's push that in. So it should be alrighty. Come on, tell me that I have a new branch. Oh, it's still uploading. It's too big. Well, while that does its thing, the other one that I wanted to look at was my little physics thingy. This one. Do I still have that on disk somewhere? Not that window. That one being here. Tutorials. Physics tutorial. Okay. All right. That at least is not uploaded. So, boom. Now I should have a new one. Yep. Prepare to work. That's new. Okay. Does that fit? That fits. Okay, great pull request. I shall merge that later on. Check out. Is there any? You know what? Can't even remember what was in there. But 1st of December 2020. That's how long I haven't worked on that. That's what? So 2 years ago? No, 1.5 years ago. A little over 1 year ago. Build again. There we go. All right. Now, the thing that I wanted to do there was someone... They must have reported it on my YouTube channel, I think it was. Someone mentioned that I made a mistake in the explosion bits of that. So let's go and have a look. Hey, Canton. Yeah, I really want to do more with AR. I do have a North Star in the back there that I need to start playing around with. It's been there for a while. I just haven't had the time to do enough with it. You know, long on the planning, and of course, you know, a lot of people are playing with the pass-through features on the Quest, that you can do some interesting little things. Ooh, there we go. All right. All right, let's see if this still works. Should. Oh yeah, that was an angle that I wanted to display. Boom. All right, so the problem is that explosion. So when we look at our boom logic, the problem that we're having is that we're calculating this delta, which is the because this is one of the problems that we have with Godot physics, that when you get a hit on the body, you only get the body that actually is hit. And I think in Godot 4 you get a little bit more info, but you don't get enough. And that's actually, I need to raise a issue for that at some point in time, because you can actually get the information that we're after if you handle all the physics yourself, which of course sort of defies the point. No, that's in the physics server. So let's see, what was that again? So that's just a space state, body states. Was it space states? No, that was just. Um, well, there's a whole bunch of functions in the physics engine that if you detect the collision yourself, you can get the exact point of collision and you can get the normal of the objects that you're colliding with, and that's really what you want to know at this point in time. So I don't really know that, so I'm just abusing this a little bit. It's in the end, our our boombox is just a box, so we're going to hit it somewhere. And what I'm simply doing is I'm taking the center of this box, and I'm taking the position of the the cannonball, and I'm just using that as a vector to figure out at what vector I am hitting this thing. And that sort of approximates where on the cube I am hitting it. But the problem is, so that gives a strength of, oh no, now I remember. Sorry, I'm doing it wrong. This thing, because I'm thinking about how to, I have that same problem with the cannonball, but here it's actually a different problem. This thing is going to explode. I have an area around this box. So is that this one? That's the trigger, so that's when it gets hit. But when it gets hit, any other object that's within this range, within this circle, sphere, is going to be pushed away by the explosion. So I'm taking the location of the thing that I'm pushing away, and I'm looking at the origin point of my explosion, and I'm calculating a vector in which it needs to be pushed away there. And that is what we're doing here. Now, I'm applying that on the origin point of the body. Now, the problem that I have lies with apply impulse. So, if we look at apply impulse, applies the positioned impulse to an impulse is time independent. Apply impulse on every frame, blah, blah, blah. It should be used one time. Position used the rotation of the global orientation system, but is centered at the object's origin. That's the thing where I'm going wrong. So I'm using that as an origin point, but it's actually telling me that the position is in relation to the position uses the rotation of the global coordinate system that's centered at the object's origin. Right. So it's right now I'm using a global position and I should be using a local position. So it's really weird that I actually need to, let's say that there's a nice object here, my controller. So I've got my controller. The center is over here, but I want to apply an impulse over there. Then I need to get a vector to this point, but I need to get that vector in the local space of this object. So in relation to here, so let's say that that is 0.1, 0.2 or something like that. But then if this object is rotated, I need to know what that position is or that vector is in the global space compared to the origin point. So basically we're talking about what's the global position of this point, what's the global position of this point, and calculating a delta. Now in this case, because I'm just using the center point, I can actually just say that this should simply be vector 3, 0, 0, 0, because I want to apply the impulse at the center point of this object. And the rotation in this case isn't important because it's a 0, 0, 0. You know? So that should work. So let's see if my explosion looks better now. Because one of the things that I should see is I should see these things, for instance, move up, which wasn't the case before. All right, didn't hit it hard enough. Okay, so that didn't do much at all. So the big question is, are we doing the wrong impulse, or is our impulse strength not high enough? All right. Where is that coming from? Is that a script variable? Here we go. Let's make that something really crazy and see if we can see where some things are flying to. That doesn't seem to be doing much. So that's the origin of the body that we're shooting away and our origin ourself. And then the body impulse. So are we really reading this right? Applies a positioning impulse to the body. An impulse is time independent. Apply the impulse every frame will be like that. We know that. So we just want to have one impulse. For this reason, it should only be used when simulating one-time impact. So if we're simulating an explosion and moving things away, the position uses the rotation of the global orientation system. Okay, well, the other thing that we're actually not even checking. We're not even, we're only going to be blowing these things outwards. We're not actually blowing that up. I might want to make my collision shape a little bit bigger. Let's do it like that. Make it a really big explosion. Whoops. So now we should be putting an impulse on these top guys. Okay. Oh, that looks like it's flying the right way. Haha. All right. That's more the thing. I could really see that thing flying up. Make it a bit bigger. That was fun. Oh, that's coming out, but our triangle is completely gone. So, and the other thing that I'm thinking about is, well, that impulse factor is a little bit crazy, but that's what it is. I'm wondering if we should do a fall off depending on. Let's go a little bit less crazy. Let's go put that back to 10. We still had the triangle really flying upwards. But I guess that block and that triangle sort of cancel each other out. They're both maybe because it's doing an impulse on that one first, and it actually gets stopped by the triangle. That's very possible. And I guess this one isn't getting enough force to break it. Boom. So fun. If you do enough damage to a block, it falls into smaller parts. It does work pretty well. It's a pretty fun little thing. Well, I guess we can just play around a little bit with this. No, that wasn't. No. It's gonna hit. Yay! Still through that triangle up so far that it's disappeared. There's my camera. I want to move this a little bit further away. I want to see a little bit more of what's happening. It makes this very small, but that's okay. That wasn't hard enough. So it's really interesting how that triangle really falls up and the rest kind of stops. I wonder why that is. Move that back. It's going through all the overlapping bodies. And applying an impulse to them. So yeah, I wonder if that's got anything to do with the fact that those two objects are on top of each other. And somehow maybe the bottom one is knocking the top one or something like that. So let's actually make it a little bit like just a little. Okay, it did fly up, but it didn't do as much as it did before. I'm surprised that that one didn't get blown out to the side. I kind of wanted to give enough strength for this not to fly off completely. It's like that one is the only one that gets an impulse, and the other bits aren't getting any impulse. So is there something about these blocks that is preventing it from doing that? What is different between the blocks? The triangle blocks there? All the same. Oh. These blocks are very heavy, 10. And that one is not. That's probably my problem. So, let's also give this a weight of about 10. All right. So, these all now are 10. Hey, I just updated that here. Why is that not going through? This time it's right. Okay. Now it's updated. So that one's 10, that one's 10. They're all 10. However, when that breaks up, then we get these guys. So these are about 1. So yeah, I guess we could do that. These need to be heavier though, because this is only breaking up into 4. So these definitely need to be 2.5. Why is that not updating? 9.8 times 2.5 is 24. So let's say 25 just to round it off. So I want these to be 25. 25. Yeah, it's good enough for me. I'm wondering if I should make the total weights. Yeah, I don't really care that much. Or maybe I should make that about half the weight of that, because they are half the size. I think that would be better. So our triangle. Actually, let's make our triangle 4. Okay. Where's my calculator gone? Did I close my calculator? I closed my calculator. Actually, can't I do it like this? I don't know. It might work, actually. 9.8 times 4. Yep. There we go. That's good. So as long as I move away from the other one. So that's going to be 4, which means that my destructed triangles are going to go back to 1. There we go. So each one is 1 kilogram, or whatever we want it to be. Okay, because our destructed blocks are 1 as well, which means that our normal block, we are, instead of 10, we're going to make 8. Okay, so now everything is a lot heavier. Obviously, this strength is now not going to be enough, but let's start with 10 and see what happens. Because that was just our problem, that our... Oops. Boink. Well, it did a little bit, but not enough. So let's put the strength up a bit. That was what I was looking for. Now it works properly. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now we can see that everything kind of flies in a way that you would expect it to fly. Boink. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It is, but the problem, Remy, and that's again another thing that we might need to add to the list of bugs, is when I change the what was it? The when I change the mass. So let's say I do 10, and I'm now going to tab shift tab away. We can see that it actually updates it. But if I tap into that field, notice that because that field now becomes focus, it's actually not updated that value. It's probably updated it, but then changed it back because the field is now getting focus. So, and then obviously when I move out of that field, that goes back. So if I go that way, it works. But if I go that way, it doesn't work. So there's a little bug for this. Small little things, not really important enough to worry too much about. Time. Sorry, I just need some water in it. For some reason, this thing is dripping all over the place, so I have to be careful that I don't drip on top of my computer. Alrighty. Good. Okay. Let's make that back to 8 again, because that was the one that actually really worked nicely. Because now we have 8 blocks for 1 kilogram, making an 8 kilogram wall. Now, obviously, that's a really light wall, but it's all relative, right? So we can make it much heavier, and that means that it doesn't fall. My cannonball went back into here. There's now a cannonball hidden somewhere here. Oh no, probably now fell out. I'm not sure what happened there. That was really funny. I should watch that back and in the recording. Bonk. Boink. Boom. These are now small broken up blocks. We can see that they do fall apart nicely now. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how this works. Now, I do have a feeling that the texturing once the big block breaks into small blocks isn't working correctly, but I don't think I care that much about that. It is only just a little bit of a toy, just as an example of how physics work in Godot and how you work with things. But anyway, that did fix our problem. So pretty happy about that. All right, let's take this. Gives this thing a name. I would say fix boom. It needs to have a name. It doesn't really matter too much what it's called, but that is going into here. There we go. Fix boom. This VR fixes our boom logic. There we go. Does it do anything weird? I don't think so. But it's all changing the mass of everything. All right, pretty happy about that. As far as I'm concerned, I can merge right away. And there we go. That's all fixed. I'm going to merge that guy as well. There we go. Is there anything else on the issue list here? Yeah, so that is now fixed. Yeah, so he's got the same weirdness here, all that sort of stuff. Right. No. So number 14. Fixed by number 14. There we go. Close with comments. All right. This was a weird one. You see how he's accelerating? That if you accelerate forward, the motor actually lifts up on the front wheel, and when he reverses, it actually lifts up on the other wheel. No idea why. But that's not something that I can do much with because I don't have his setup. How does friction work? Let's see how old this all is. These are all things from 2020. Shame I've left this so long. Yeah, that is really something that, I don't actually have the answers for that. Same with the balancing units in the car. That's something that I eventually managed to get right just by tweaking the values until it all works. But it's, yeah. There's a bunch of things that just aren't well explained. That's actually a good one, Akian, because the weight property never made sense to me. You give something a mass, and I guess I kind of already said it wrong because with the weight is actually the weight in kilograms at the gravity at what we're at, which we calculate back to. I always forget what exactly the units are called. But obviously, as gravity changes, if you would have a game where you have different gravities, then the weight obviously changes. And having that as a property, therefore, doesn't make sense. You want the mass, and then you want to multiply it by whatever gravity applies in whatever area the object resides, so that if you have different areas set up with different gravity properties, the mass of the object would result in a different weight. At the same time, I get why the weight property was originally introduced, because people like to think in kilograms. They don't think in mass. So, yeah, that bit of it kind of makes sense. All right, what else could we look at tonight just to sort of get back into things? You know what? Yeah, a little climbing demo. Go to project list. Yes. Where was I with my tutorial stuff? Is that here? Dungeon. That one, yeah. Ooh. Do have an origin set up. So what am I doing here? What was I? Kind of hate that when I've got all these changes. I should have. You know what? I'm just gonna safeguard that just to be. Oh, I don't want the temp in there. What's temp doing? Oh, that was what I was working on. That's right. Hmm. Yeah, I probably want to take that out. That's gonna be fun to just show you guys what that is. When I go to my temp folder, what do I have as scenes here? This one. And that scene. Do I need to? Yeah, I need to press space. That's right. That was the little animation thing that I made for the video that I did on the on creating that. So I should also have a map extend. No, that's just that. Oh, the whole thing actually runs in this. That's right. Hold on. Okay, so that goes there. All right. Did I? No, that wasn't in there. Where was the? That was just a thumbnail scene that I created to create a thumbnail out of this thing. No. Did I not save the other one? Or is that just because... Oh, yeah. It is this. That's right. It's... Oh, no. Yeah, so he moves in. Then we get that all green. And we're going to check all the walls. Get our little bit flags. Then we check each room against that. Figure out whether that one works. Nope, that one doesn't work. Check out the next room. Yeah, that one does work, and we can place it there. And that's how we're building a map. So that was just some test scenes that I made for my video. And do I keep them or do I just chuck them away? Because there's no point in checking that in. I don't know. Kind of want to keep it. I don't want to lose it. I'm going to use it though. You know what? I'm going to go and close all this stuff. Yeah, I want to go. Actually, I can probably rename it here. Rename video 01. 4 videos 01. Yeah. Okay. So that way, I don't really throw it away, but it also doesn't get in the way. Might actually move it into a separate file at some point in time. Okay. I'm not sure what I did with all the other things. Obviously, I just improved a few things. I don't know. Wow, already 2 commits ahead. There we go. All right. So how far was I with this thing? Oh, yeah, so I have my little dragon sitting there. We could move our player around. And we can move our other character around. Oh, wasn't I... Oh yeah, the enemies were only doing something if I came close enough. Was that? I thought I had made the enemies move. I thought I had already made that work. So we spawn in enemies. Okay, where are enemies? Characters. Enemy characters. We've got our dragon. It's a little dragon. It's got an attack detection. It's got a move detection. So that one should be bigger. Yep. That one should be small. So if someone's within 1 space, then he can attack. If they're within 8, I guess. So they should start moving. So why? How is that not working? Extends enemy character. Perfect. Checking all these directions. Okay. So when he becomes the current character, then we check if we're in attack range. Then we need to attack. We haven't implemented that yet. And then we go to the next character. Then if we're not in attack range, we go into move range. Oh, that's probably why. Because I moved into... I already moved too close. So it's trying to attack and we can't attack yet. So... did I have a finish? I don't think so. Well, he moved now. So am I going to be close enough now for him to move? Yeah, so now they're moving. Oh, I do have a next button there. And now they're not moving because now they're supposed to attack. Okay. Okay. When we look at our player characters, I got scripts folder with nothing in there. So that extends character. Where is our character script that we're extending? Where are you? Add-on. Oh, that's in my add-ons. I made it in a Dungeons add-on. And that's where my characters are. Okay. So when we look at our character, we have some hit action points and we have some health points. 25. That's not a lot of health. And I remember that if we then look over here, we can actually adjust our health points. Okay. Now, with our enemies, we want to give them different types of attacks. But at the same time, we don't want to implement the same type of attack multiple times on the same or on different types of enemies. So when we look at our enemy character here, that obviously doesn't do much. That's interesting. Next character. So when I'm looking at my dragon script, okay. I want to make this more modular. We're going to make this more modular. And the way that I think that I'm going to do that... that's a mage. That's not the one that I want. I want to be in here. So we got our attack detection. So that is now, right now, just an area. No, that's not actually a function yet. All right. I'm thinking that we are going to create an AI node that will have the logic and that it will have children in order of checking. That will determine what we're actually doing on each stage. I think that would be a good idea. Ooh, okay. Let's quickly check that out. Twitter. Heavier, and that means that it doesn't fall. All right, I want to see. Much heavier, and that means that it doesn't fall. My cannonball went back into here. Yeah, that's good. That's funny. Thanks for that, Aikian. Loved it. There we go. What other notifications were here? Oh, that things would be cool. Yeah, I need to have a look at what Tashin is all about. Why is he recompiling? I don't know. I need to answer that at another time. Reusable cannonball, so eco-friendly. That's brilliant. I love it. Okay. So we are going to just add a spatial node here. And it doesn't actually need to be any specific sort of node, but I'm just going to call it AI. And I'm going to save that into my assets. No, not into my assets, into my add-ons. I'm going to put it in here. That's just normal. It's enemy character. So I'm actually going to create a new folder here called AI. I'm going to I'm going to call this thing brain. Brains! I want to eat brains! All right. And I'm going to call this brain. I know that I called it AI on the other place, but that's okay. So we're going to create a script on that. We don't have anything to do there yet, but we just need to have that in place for once we need it. So I'm going to just move my attack detection over here, and I'm going to save that as a branch in our AI. Okay. Now I could go... yeah, I do want to do that. So I'm going to create a script here, video script, but I'm actually not going to call this attack detection. I'm going to call that AI action. Create. All right, and now I'm going to go and say, I'm going to actually, I'm going to give that a name. Last name, AI. Let's call that AI. Did I give these guys? No, I just call that character, which is a bit dangerous. Yeah, doesn't really matter. So that's just going to be a script by itself. And that's actually not going to be an area. That's just going to be spatial. Because we want to be able to do that for just about anything. Now we're going to extend that, and that's going to be that. So that extends AI action. Perfect. There we go. And we're calling that class. Now, this one is less important. We're going to call that a AI brain. Brains! Okay. There we go. So that's our attack detection. Very good. And I'm going to do the same thing with our move detection. And the order in which these are going to be here is going to be important. All right. Save this. Move detection. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to load up our AI action script. And then I'm going to say extend scripts. Thank you. There we go. So these are going to be our two AI functions. All right. Then in our Dragon scripts, okay. Right, so here we are moving. And then after it's moved, it'll get another turn because it hasn't used up its AP points. So so yeah, we have to be able to return 3 states. So on our, what's this thing? Why does that not have text detection? How did that not get a... Oh, because I did it in the wrong place. That's why. How stupid. Okay. AI. Delete. Oh, I haven't saved it yet, so I can't delete it. So let's try it again. Delete. There we go. That's what you get for not paying attention. Yeah, that's not going to work, of course. Okay. Code. AI. No, there we go. And now I can inherit or extend the script. Now it's going to create the right file. Okay, so actually doesn't need to have a red brain. I actually want to rename this to AI brain. This is where it's... Should have remembered, I always need to close my stuff before renaming stuff. So I did end up renaming the scripts. Brain, does that mean that this is still good? That's still good. Okay. So now I want to rename you to AI brain. There we go. And you know what? That also means any enemy character is going to have AI. So we're actually going to go and no, we don't do it that way. And then luckily we named it differently in the other one. It's actually called AI brain. Can we go and rename that here too, please? That's all consistent. Now in this case, I don't think this will ever have nodes. So we could have actually done that without creating a scene. We just need the script, but that's okay. Okay, so now if we go to Dragon, we actually have our AI brain there. So I can move that there. I can move that there, and now I can remove that. And now, okay. So let's go here. So in our action, so here we're just going to make a template function. Well, first we need to add an enumeration. Results, AI action results, boom. AI, not processed. AI, it's a good one. No, I'm actually going to do that differently. We're actually going to say process action, and I'm going to return false there. If we return true, we've handled it. If we return false, we haven't. It actually doesn't really matter too much. The reason why I'm hesitating is we're going to be creating a loop, and we're going to call process action on each one. And we simply can check if our AP points are used up. Whether, oh, we're actually already doing that. Whether we need to check every state. So I think that's indeed how we're going to do that. So we're going to go do pass. Okay. Because our enemy characters actually hasn't got an AP state. That's weird. Oh, because this one actually goes from character. So that's on the character itself, isn't it? Yeah, so we have our action points and we have our health points. Okay. So when we move our character, it moves a certain amount. Okay. So okay, that's fine. You. I'm just gonna go and put these in there for now. Attack detection, boom. And move detection. I'm gonna put you in there as well so that we have them in there. Where are you with this? Where's my original? Dragon. That's what I was looking for. So now I want to move this. Into... That was our attack detection, so I'm going to move that in here. I am not going to do that at all. We're going to say attack and return. That's fine. Then back to dragon. And I need to change the things. Okay. That's move. So obviously that is no longer that. That is that. Okay. Here we go. Get range, get overlapping. Oh. Okay. That's annoying. That is annoying. That is because we're extending from AI action, and AI action is a spatial. So in our script, it doesn't realize that we are right now in area, which means that we're actually going to change this a little bit. And we're actually going to add an area there. We're going to move the collision statement there. That's all fine. And we're going to change the type here back to spatial. And that means that here we're going to get area. Dots. There we go. Overlapping dots. There we go. Now, the other thing that we obviously want to do is we want to change this sphere's radius, which means that this is going to become local resource. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Well, I guess I can make this a tool script already and say exports radius. What is my radius? Is right now 4. Set get set radius. Func set radius new value radius new value is inside tree. Okay, radius that needs to be export var radius. Change that. And again, func ready page radius. And func radius is going to be area dot collision shape dot shape sphere shape. Yeah. Oops. Sphere dot radius is radius. Yeah. Cool. Which means that seeing we have this here, I should be able to make that 10. And it should update my radius. Doesn't seem to be doing it. Index area on area. Okay, it doesn't like that, does it? Collision shape area, okay. Oh! There we go. That's what it needed to be. Dragon. Does it work now? Yep, now we can adjust it. Cool. Okie dokie. Let's change the same thing in our move detection. Let's say area, collision shape is going to become an area. That one's going to be change type spatial. There we go. And that's going to become area dots. And then we can copy most of this across. This is going to become a tool script as well. That's going to be like that. And we need to copy that. Obviously, there might be other things that we are going to add in there. Okay. That, of course, needs to be a var because in the other one, it doesn't have that. Okay. Okay, so here we're going to move one cell. Okay, where is get closest implemented? Is that in Dragon? It is. I think that is a function we are going to move into here. Because we're going to have that in a lot of things. Because we also need to use that get closest here to know who we're going to attack. So that should now go there. A star maze, that needs to be an include. Why is... in cell? Oh, that's the cell that we are in right now. That is probably coming from character. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's something that we're going to send here in cell. Which means that that's going to become in here. In cell. Cool. Well, there we go. That means that we can do this. Boom. So we're getting a path and we're moving one. Okay, we counted that because that's all going to be on character. Right, so that's also what we're going to do. Action in cell is going to be p character. P in cell, so that probably needs to be a character. Cell, what sort of type is cell? Cell, okay. Okie. And we want to do the same thing here. Yeah, is that gonna work? That's gonna work. And I guess we could even just to be, nah, we want to, that should always be in the same position because it's, the AI brain is on the dragon on its core. That's all fine. So that's going to move it one cell. Just for safety's sake, we're going to say action points bigger than 0. Oh, actually is 0, then return. We're not going to do any actions if we don't have enough action points to do this action. Because we're moving one cell at a time. That does mean that when we move our character, we're going to deduct an action point. Now, does it already do that? That's the big question. Does it already do... Because our dragon, how many action points does a dragon? Dragon also has 5 action points and 5 health points. That's fine. Now, with the move, it's more than likely not going to run out of action points. So... going to try and move one cell. The big question is, in that move function, total of length, duration, and that just starts. So how does our player character do it? Okay. Current action point. Oh, okay. Now I get it. All right. So, right. So that's something that we're going to send through to. And that's what it needs to then return, is the action points int. Actually, we're going to call that current action points int. And we're going to return that here. Okay. Because the action points that we have set, we have to reset and reuse every turn. Okay. Perfect. So we got our current action points. We're going to go and add that to our attack. There we go. We still need to implement that, but here we're just going to say, okay, current action points. There we go. So we just return that. Oh, so here we're just going to do a pass because we haven't implemented that. And then we do the same on our move detection. Now we're actually going to say current action points is 0. Then we return just a safety. We just return the action points. And here, whatever we do, we also return our action points. However, if we are moving, then our action points take away 1 action. There we go. Now, our emit signal. Yeah, we do want to do that as well. So when we look at our player character, whenever we change our action points, we go and emit that. Okay, so in this case, we've changed that. So therefore, we go and broadcast that change. Okay. Pretty happy about that as a difference. Okay, cool. So now let's make our brain work. So in our brain, what we're going to be doing is we're going to add our function called process actions. And that obviously is going to get our character body, else we can't do this. Here we're going to create our current action points variable, which is going to be action points. So that's our reset action points. And now we're going to do for AI brain, no, nodes in get children. Oh, get children. So we're going to loop through all our, let's do action. If action is AI action, then we can do something. All right, cool. So, and actually, yeah, and here I want to do for was points is points. Okay, that also means that here when I start that, where's our move detector? I want to go and do this. Boom. There we go. And here we're going to go and okay, we need to do our incel as well. We actually can know that from the character, don't we? I think we don't need to parse that because now that we have our character, we know in which cell our character is. Not player character, character. Get in cell, exactly. So we no longer care about you. We're also going to take that out of here. There we go. And then we're going to take that out of here. And instead of doing incel, it's going to be a character dot get incel. There we go. Perfect. All right. So that saves us parsing things that we may or may not need, which now means that we can do current action points is action dot process action character current action points. If current action points does not equal pause points, so if our points change, that means we did something in our action. We're going to stop that. We're going to go back into our loop. Now, if we still have action points left, that means that our loop will go back and give our character another try. But it starts with the top. So even if the move only, let's say that I could move 5 cells towards my enemy, or my current player, my actual player. If I move 1, and therefore my action point is now 4, and I could attack, then I actually want to exit, go back in my game loop, and start the brain again because I want to check the attack. So I'm going to move my my dragon 1 cell, check if I can attack. Yes, then we're going to attack. No, I'm going to move again. Can I attack? No, move again. Can I attack? No, move again. So it's not going to do move, 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 and then attack. It's going to do move, check, attack, move, check, attack. And that is a choice that we have, right? By making our character in our move detection action move 1 cell at a time. If I want to move as close to my player as possible and then do my attack, well, I can just move these around, right? I can do the move detection first, so it will move, 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 and then attack. So I have control over what I want to do here. Okie doke. So we have that. We have our brain. Now we need to hook it all up. Now the nice thing, of course, is okay, that's the last thing that I want to do here. All right. In my brain. So if I handled my action, if my current action point change, I return here. That means that if I go through this loop and none of the actions have done something, I definitely need to go to my next character. All right. The other thing that I want to do, obviously, here is if current action points is 0, so we've used up all our action points, and we also want to go to our next character. All right. So there we go. That nicely finishes our AI loop. So in our attack detection, we have to do a couple of things. One is we have to give it a cost. 2 is we have to give it, how much damage does it inflict. And the third thing is that we need to start an animation that actually does something. So whether it is spewing a fireball, or in this case it would be, it's a dragon, so you raise fire, shoot out a fireball. Now the other thing is, how will we do that? Let me think. How's that currently done here? So that goes start. Okay. Okay, so that means that if it's still doing its thing, okay, but that's going back into wait mode. Okay. How was I doing that for my dragon? Okay, train all completed. Okay. Okay. That is really cool. Yes. So, in this case, it is my enemy character that has a brain. Exactly. All right. So, we are actually going to I'm not quite sure what that is about. Okay, so when we're ready, we're just doing that. If it's finished, we just replay the dragon, so it's going to keep flapping its wings as long as it's alive. Oh, and that just triggers a hit thingy. Okay. That's, I guess, makes sense. All right, so that's going to go in here. All right. All right. So, I think I've done this wrong. What I've done wrong is our current action points. Okay, became current character. That's when we start. How do we get here? So this one now becomes current action points, that, and then we start our loop. But in our case here, yes. Okay. Okay. So is that actually part of the character? That might be part of the character. Yes, we already have that. So, all right. So, um, yeah, no, that's going to change in a minute. Enemy character. So here, obviously, we want to reset it. Now, this is a global variable that we already have. So we're going to go and set that. And that's just going to be action points. And an action points change, and we're going to send that through. Okay, cool. All right. And what we're going to do here is AI brain. What do we call it? Process. Oh yeah, that's before because whatever you want to do now. Current action points. There we go. Okay, get children action. That's going to be that. That's going to be that. If it changed, if it's 0, we go there, and else we return that. And here we'll just return that as well. Doesn't actually matter because we've already initiated next character. So either we're going to get out of here. Now, actually, this one does not need to return. No, it does. Okay, so either it's going to go to the next character, which is then fine. Actually, in this case, it's going to be 0 because we don't have any action points left. And then here as well, return 0. We don't have any action points. Oh, yeah, that's already 0, so that's not needed. And else return that. That's great. So we're actually broadcasting there. So if we hit current action point 0, we go. No, we're not going to do that at all. We're not even going to care about that. We're just going to go. Oh yeah, we do care about that because we only want to stop at that. We're just going to return that. That's what we need to do. Because if we've done an action, we have done something that's going to kick off our tween, even if it's going to be like spitting our fireball or something like that. Then obviously that's going to start up our tween, and then when our tween is finished, it is going to submit a tween finish, and here we're going to say whatever it is that we need to do. So process actions. So this is going to be process actions. It's going to send our cells. We're going to send our current action points. And we're going to go and say, that's our new. In our tween completed, we're going to say, if 0, then we're done. Else, we're going to do the next step in our brain. So we're going to repeat our brain. Cool. Self. And Godot, it is self. All right. So, in theory, that should now mean that we are back at the logic that we had. So dragon, we've now left that all out. So we haven't done any, we haven't done our attack thing yet, which is fine. So let's see. Actions, that's because we are in the current player here. That's why we can change it here without any problem. And here because we're going into separates. I guess we could change it on the character directly instead of doing the return. I think that kind of probably is nicer if we do it that way. Let's see if that works. We should just be able to do this. Oh, yeah, let's be character. That means we don't need to send it through there anymore either. We can just do it like this. And we simply check if it's changed. And if it's changed, we just return. That means we're not actually getting anything there. Enemy character. So in this case, we're just going to process. Boom. And the same thing here. Just going to process. And we're happy. Okay. So in our action, oops, we process it. Okay, if I move, we just, okay, so that's on the same thing that I want to do here. I actually do not, oh, I didn't even return the action points here, so that would have broken. We're just going to go and take this out. We don't actually need it. If we change it, we change it. So fine. All right. There we go. And here as well. Because we can just get it from our character. If it's 0, we're not going to do anything. Also, you're going to say that is going to give you that minus that. We're going to say the points changed, and we're going to go tweet. And again, the thing here is Our action points change. We're starting our tween. We're then returning back into our brain. We're seeing that our action points have changed. Therefore, we've processed our action, which means that we're going to return out of this, which means that we're just exiting out of this, but our tween is now running. So when our tween is completed, this gets called. If our current action points is 0, we go next character. Else we're going to go there. So that does mean that in our brain, oh, here we do have it. So actually what I just want to do here, no, because when if we end up here, we're not tweening, and therefore we're never going to go into that tween. If we go through this and there's no action to process, we just go directly to the next character and done. We go to the next one. Okay. So in theory, we should be back now to a working environment that doesn't actually do anything more. So yeah, I'm just gonna move him over there. I'm gonna move him over there. Okay, did I not move that close enough? Okay, he's moving there now. Oh, I know why. I know why. Because that's now gone back to 4. What was that originally? Do we still have that here? No, that's now already set to 4. I can't remember what the original size was. But obviously, that's become too small now. So our move detection, we actually want to have a default, let's say, of 8 for now. I think it was 8. I can't remember. But that should mean that now if we move our character 1 closer, this character a little closer, no, it still doesn't move. That's probably because that's really dumb. It keeps remembering what the old value was. So now it's good. It should actually move directly to that. If I just go next, it actually, there we go. So now we can see that it moved all the way to our character because it never was able to do the attack. So next time we run this, we should see that it moves to there and then attack. Now, the thing, of course, is that if it doesn't have enough AP to do the attack, it can still move because the moving costs 1 AP per cell. But I want to do an export var here, and that is going to be, oh, not on move. That's going to be on the attack script. Here I'm going to say export var attack cost. So let's say that our attack cost is 2, so it's going to cost us 2 AP to do that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say the character dot current action points smaller than attack cost. We don't have enough cost to attack. That means we return right away. Let's actually put that comment in there. If we don't have enough action points left to attack, we don't. There we go. So we can still move, presumably, because attack costs 2. Move, it costs us a minimum of 1. We can still move. So we should be able to move all the way to the character if by the time that we get into range of the character, we still can't. We don't have enough attack or AP left to attack. So in this case, we've moved towards our character. We are now in range of our character. So now we know we have enough action points. We can actually do the attack. So, all right. Now a character. Does our tree need to have it clear before we do this? Or is it automatically cleared when it finishes? Does tree mode have a Have it clear? Tween. It's just called tween. Okay, search tween. Oh, we put time, by the way. Oh, in about 50 minutes, I'm going to. Okay, so I'm wondering if the animation completes. Anybody in chat know the answer to this? If my tween finishes, does that mean that all the tween instructions are cleared, or do I need to specifically clean up? Well, we're going to assume that it starts from scratch. So the thing that we obviously want to do is we want to have the scene that we spit out in this case. So one of the things, of course, is that when we look at attack detection, I'm the thing that I'm quickly thinking about is I want to do next move. That here. Might actually even do that here, even though we just set our action point, so we're never going to get in here. Just that we have one function that does that, and we can call out from other things as well. And the reason for that is that I'm thinking about when we perform our attack, we want to reduce our hit points or our action points. Instance a scene that does our attack, that animates our attack. So in this case, let's say a fireball that floats out. And then when it's finished, obviously we want to call that next move function, but it's all going to be inside of the attack detection. So here, obviously, we want to do an export var attack scene, and that's going to be the resource pack scene. I think that's packed scene, isn't it? I always forget this bit. Yeah, so now I can create a scene for there. All right, cool. Because we obviously want to have different sorts of attacks, and we can specify our cost here, and then we can, in our attack scene, you know, we can reuse this for different types of attacks. Now, one thing that we don't have here, it's like if a character has a ranged attack and a Oh, that's other logic that we can. And again, I think we can add multiple attack detection nodes in here and have it work with that. Okay, so I'm going to create a really simple scene for a fireball. Now, in this case, I want to go and say spatial higher full attack. Obviously, that is something that we are going to I think we're going to make a subscene out of that, but for now we just need to have something in there, and the reason why is because I just need to check the height of this bloody thing. Mesh instance, and I'm going to call that the fireball. And obviously it's not actually going to be a fireball right now because we don't have enough time. It's just going to be a sphere. It's not going to be so big. Could be much smaller. Oops. Obviously, I also want to go and make that much less detailed. Now, the problem, of course, is that we can get the height here. But... Oops. Or do we want to do that on its spawn point? I think we do. All right. You know what? We're going to actually make the location of our attack detector also our spawn point. Now that means that our range is slightly messed up. But we can adjust that in its ready function. Yes, I think that is very important because else our system doesn't work properly. So what we can do here... no, I don't really care about that, so I just can do that over here. It's not that important. But what I want to do is area.transform.location. No, the origin is transform. Minus. All right. So obviously, oh yeah, we can already see that it's adjusted. I think our attack circle is now nice. Now, when I move that like that, it's not going to immediately update until I reload our dragon. Now we can see that even though our attack detection is all the way out there, our circle is again in place. But I don't really care about that not automatically updating. I'm not too fussed by that. But I do want the attack to be back in its base point. But now we do have that as our spawn point. Now, the problem that I have is I think we rotate our dragon based on our pivot. And that is going to... Okay, so we're not going to do it that way. All right, so let's go and change this back, shall we? We're going to go change that back like this. Transform is like that. Okay. That means that I want this back to where it was. There we go. Okay. Let's double check if that stays the way that it should be. That is indeed staying the way that it should be. Instead, on our pivot, we're going to do a position node. And we're going to call that spawn points. we're going to move that there. So that's now going to move along with our dragon, which is really cool. Which now means that in our detection scripts, we are going to do an export var spawn node. No, I'm going to call it spawn point node path. There we go. And that's going to be that. There we go. So that's how we know what our spawn point is. Cool. All right. It's going to be a spawn point. Perfect. And then we can make a variable here. Make an onReady var spawn point node. It's going to be get. No, it's going to be is get node or null spawn point. There we go. Just make sure that we cast that to spatial. That we make sure that that's something that we want. Okie doke. So. If we don't have enough costs, we also want to do is if not spawn point node, we say we don't have a spawn point, and if not attack scene, we're also going to return. So if we don't have a spawn point, we don't have an attack scene, or we don't have enough points, we can't attack. Probably do a warning thing later on. Okay. Attack. On time. Yeah, I want to go to bed. Okay. I'll just finish that. So now I am going to create just a new scene. It's going to be a 3D scene. We're going to add a mesh instance here. That's going to be called our fireball. Actually, that's just going to be called mesh. This is going to be called fireball. We're going to save that. Scenes. What should we call that? Effects or projectiles. Project. Let's go with attacks. There we go. Fireball. Okay. Yeah, I'll deal with that later. I want to make a base class for that as well, but maybe we should do that the right way right away. Let's actually do that. Start with a new scene. Call that attack. Save. Add-ons, dungeons. So that's just going to become a base class for attacks. Creates. Oh, not extend script. Scripts. Creates. Nothing much we can do there just yet. Okay. Inherited scene. There we go. And that's going to become a firewall. Perfect. I'll just keep calling matches. Doesn't really matter. Sphere. 0.2. Make that a lot less detailed because it's very small. Okay. Okay. So our attack scene here is going to become a fireball. Cool. All right. Funk, perform, attack, target. Okay, so we're going to perform our attack and we're going to hit that target. And obviously it needs to do something, so but that is going to be implemented in our subclass. However, what we do want to do here obviously is export var perform damage. Damage. That's by default say that it gives 2 hit points of damage. That obviously can be then overridden for every. Actually, let's do 1 hit point damage. So when we look at our character, do we already have a take damage function here? So we have our health points. Current health points is health points already for. There we go. Character damage. Take damage. Amounts. Alright, current health points is current points. The amounts. There we go. To do let's roll the dice. Okay. Together with player stats. Effective attack. So that's something for later that we want to sort of, you know, give a range of what sort of impact our attack can have. But for now, we're just going to say the whole thing is full attack. So here we need to do animation for die. Animation for hurts. Hopefully we're not going to do anything at this point in time. Well, we do want to obviously do something to make the character go if the character dies. I guess for now, you play by character. Q3. There we go. So we just Q3 our character, and our character is bye bye the moment that we take damage. Which also means that in our loop, we should make sure that if this character happens to be the next one in line, that obviously we don't go to that character. So that should be in our global state where we go to the current character. So next character. Go down. That goes back to 0, but why do we call next turn here? Character is character +1. We go next turn. That doesn't make sense. What does next turn do? Oh, we just increased the turn. Okay, so because we cycle through all the characters, we're going to the next turn. Now I get it. Okay. We need to I'm going to worry about that later. The situation where, first of all, a character has died and therefore it shouldn't become our next character. So it needs to already be removed from our character list. So we got add character, so we actually have to have a remove character here. And we have to have that takes that character out of our list of characters. To do check if we have any player characters left. If not, game over. So obviously that's something that we need to add in. So here is where is that already? Yeah, global states, remove character self. So remove ourselves from the active characters, we Q3 our character, and then obviously if it's game over, then our game over screen is already running. Now, once we do our animation for dying, obviously, that is something that will then, be delayed or something like that. Or at least the Q3 is going to be delayed. Let's see. I have a feeling that we're going to say that, we're going to remove the character and then, actually I'm going to go do this. And here we're going to remove our character. player test. If we have no player controlled actors, this will trigger game over. For that, but we should add an animation for dying, and that means that that's going to go away. So we remove our character, and then we trigger our because this just means that our character is removed from the game loop. This is going to, you know, have the character fall down or whatever. So yes, we need to figure out how to do that. Hey, Abdulaziz, how you going? Hope you had a good day so far. All right, so that's going to take our character out of the loop. Now, again, if we don't have any player characters left, we're just going to get into a never-ending saga because we're not. Probably will hang the game. But we do need to add that in. But yeah, let's just wait for that. Okay. So what were we doing? Let's go and close that because we're done with our move detection. Let's put some of the other things as well that we're no longer using. It's getting a little bit full. So we're going to do a perform attack. What did we call that? We said take damage. Yep. Attack. Targets. Take damage. That's our default action that we do here, but obviously we're going to, on our fireball, we're going to do much more. All right, there we go. Because there we're going to do our animation, and then at the end of the animation we do our take damage, because else, you know, while Fireball is still traveling, we would already kill off our character that we were hitting. So obviously we don't want to do that. All right. So we get our attack detection. So now we can go and say our attack node is going to become attack scene dot instance. So we're going to create a new instance of our attack scene. We can just add that as a child here. That's fine. Attack node. You probably want to go and start by putting this as dots. Dang it. What do I want to do here? Transform. So we need to position it. Oh, we can actually do that. So now we do need to do that afterwards because else it's not going to be in the right place. Global transform is going to be our spawn point node dot global transform. That's going to put our nice little attack node in the right position. And then we can do our, what's it called? Perform attack. And again, I tried to make this as global as possible so that we can do all sorts of different attacks for all sorts of different situations. In this case, it's a projectile, so it needs a spawn point. That's actually a good one. I think that is something that we're going to make part of our... I'm going to make that part of this. So this is going to be in range 0. That's what we're going to go and attack. So in this case, our perform attack is going to be character. And we're going to do spawn points, which is going to be a transform. There we go. Here as well. So in this case, because this is a projectile, we're going to say global transform is spawn point. Come on. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. I'm getting a little sleepy. It's already 11:15, so it's about time I'm going to round off. But I want to finish this attack logic so that we can actually have our dragon attack our player. It's very sad for our player. Now, the other thing which is interesting is that our attack currently costs 2 HP. And our dragon has got 5 HP. So in theory, he could attack twice. Do we want to have the dragon do that? I think I'm going to give my dragon... I think I'm going to give him less action points. I'm actually going to give him 3 action points. So... Actually, you know what? I'm going to give him 2 action points. No, because then he still can do that. So no, I want to give him 3 action points. So he could only do 1 attack in a turn, but he could do a move and an attack, or he can do 3 moves. That's basically what that boils down to. The LC becomes very overpowered very quickly. Okay. All right, he does have a nice hit animation, but yeah, okay. I'm gonna take damage. We're doing our fireball one, so obviously here we're going to add a tween node. And this tween node is going to get an all completed. Our target is nope. Sure. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Can't. Going into the wrong place. That's the way that it is. Boom. This is where I want my tween. There we go. And actually, our global transform, I actually want to do that for our mesh instance. I want to move to our global transform. There we go. Perfect. And then here we're going to have a var targets character. So we're going to go say target is p target. Okay, and here we're going to say when our tween is completed, then our targets take damage. Okay. And that actually means that what we're going to do here, and again, we don't actually have that on our character yet, but that's okay. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. Figure that out later. Okay. On tween, all complete, take damage. Perform attack, target. So when it's completed. So now we just need to do our tween dots. Let me have a look. What does that go here? Oh, here I did method because I had problems with that. I'm going to do that here as well. So that's going to be interpolate method. And that's going to be move fireball. Okay, I actually want to do that too. Only the thing is here is going to be Move 2 is going to be the target global transform.origin. And that obviously initial value is going to be oops. Oh, that's actually spawn point. We don't have to recalculate that. That's going to be that. That's going to be duration. And then what was I using here? Let's do the same thing because that kind of works. Okay. Then here we're going to take spawn point. So we're going to calculate how far that is and the length. Move speed. I don't know. Actually, in this case, that's going to be hard-coded because the fireball is a fireball. I could probably do this as a generic and then have different types of projectiles that we can do, but let's not make it overkill just yet. So we got, where is it? Oh, dot origin. Dot origin. And now I need a function move fireball. I think that is new state. Yeah, new plus. And that's going to then be mesh instance dot global transform origin is new plus. There we go. That should move it. And then when we're finished, we take damage. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're just going to move him over there. Next. Next, he's going to go closer. Okay, but he didn't actually do anything. I didn't see an attack. Although I'm not showing my HP, so maybe he did attack. Okay, I actually see that the thing is still on his nose. The other thing that we, of course, have forgotten to do is that we want to free this thing. And again, you know, once the fireball hits, we'll do a nice little explosion. And then when the explosion finishes, then we queue free and that sort of stuff. But I'm running out of time for tonight, so I'm not going to do that tonight. I already see what I've forgotten. Tween dot start. Let's start tween. Okay. That's all right. So oh, what? Did I mention that? I'm gonna put some prints into our attack detection because prints no spawn point, no attack scene. Not enough action points. Attack in range 0. I hope that gives us a nice print of what object we're doing. Although I might need to do dot name. Maybe dot see what that does. Okay. We'll do next. You can already go there. Not enough action points. Attack mage. Okay. All right. Boom. Let me think. All right. Actually, one of the things that I want to do. Let me think. Action points. Where is it? Here. Print new action. It's going to be whatever we have now. There we go. So we can see what we want to do there. Now, the other thing that I want to do is in our oh, I closed my move detection, didn't I? In our move detection, I actually want to say export for min steps is 1. Okay. Here, what we want to do is path size bigger than minimum, bigger or equal than minimum steps. And we're going to perform it. Let's turn to face. That's something we will implement later. So there we just want to tween the orientation. And for that, that we can actually probably do a tween move character as well. So let's actually implement that real quick. So what we're going to do there is a global var h transform is global transform origin. No, looking at character global transform dot origin. Oops. There we go. And then we can simply do that. And if I'm not mistaken, oh, do I have to specifically do a vector 3 dot up there? Really? So we're going to face our character at that point in time, and if I'm not mistaken, that would just do that. Now, that might get it into a never-ending loop. Or does it? No, because we're not changing the action points in this case. So it's just going to face it and do whatever next action it needs to do, which could be fire or it could be nothing. And the reason I wanted to do that is on our dragon move detection, I actually want to do that as 2. And that means it will never come, or it will never try to come close enough to our player. Again, next. Okay, cannot convert to transform to vector 3. Oh, okay. Stop. All right, so we do need to do that later. Because that move character is only for moving, even though we do have a rotate character here. Yep. All right, so got the pass. Yeah, we need to. Either one does that. There you go. So next. All right, so our dragon came only that close. It didn't go all the way. But now he should have enough to fire. Now he's attacked the mage. We didn't actually see anything happen. Okay. So, fireball. Break. Let's see. I actually want to get one closer. I want to see if our dragon can now attack on the first. There we go. Now he attacks on the first one. So, our target is that. I'm sure that's okay. 12. Oh, that was not what I meant. It's the wrong button. Okay. So it's not continue. It is step over 10. So it's now positioned that there. Duration less than a second. Might actually want to slow that down so that we can at least see what it's doing. Okay, it's never going to move. You just straight go to my tween is completed. All right, so why is that? Okay, so let's make it a really slow fireball. Okay. All right, so that should have taken 2 seconds to get there. And it didn't. It just started it. So I'm missing something. I'm doing something wrong in tween. What am I doing wrong with tween? Tween into place, tween into place. Self, duration. Bible. Oh, and this is actually, I need to change that as well. Targets plus is going to be times vector 3 plus each one origin.y. That's just to make sure that it's on the same height. So we can just do this, and now I can do this and this. All right. All right, so target position is there. 1.6, 2, -1, 3. So it needs to move 3 to the left. So we do have a nice little height thingy. Yeah, so it has a certain amount of time to travel. So that should take 6 seconds to run. Ah, I see already. That needs to be called on itself. Because the mesh instance is there. Okay, cool. I think that's our problem. Well, that's going to be a super slow fireball, but that's okay. Okay, so now it's starting to do that. See, it has a super slow fireball going. Boom. Okay, and then take damage. Okay, so... Okay, next. Another fireball. I need to make it faster, but... Boom. Next. I just want to see if it can strike, because after 3 hits, our mage should be dead. No, our mage is not dead. Okay. Let's go and look if that works. And also, let's just move it like that. All right. Next. Next. Whew. I think that can even be slower than that. 11. Current health points. 4. Oh, we're only doing 1 damage. Really? I thought I made it more. Okay, that makes sense then. Attack, fireball, damage. Let's make that one 2. Make the dragon a little bit more dangerous. Next. Okay. Don't need you anymore. And I'm actually gonna change that to 25, even though I don't think that'll make any impact this game. Oh, it does. Oh. Ooh. That one really bad. Okay, I think I'm Q reading the wrong thing. Character? No, I'm doing Q3 on the character. All right. Let's see why that went wrong. I think it is because okay, yeah, the problem right now is because my camera is linked to our character. That's right. When we go and look at our player character, and when it becomes the current character, obviously I highlight this guy. But I think there was also something that I did with the camera. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Now I think the problem is hold on. My problem is that we're already continuing with that. So actually, instead of that, this is attack. Perform attack. Yeah. I haven't removed the okay. That's why. Because the thing that I have forgotten to do here is we need to decrease action points. Really should add a convenience method for that. Minus attack costs. And it's going to be like this. Okay. Okay, and now here we're going to add a signal. Attack finished. Here we're going to make an emit signal. Attack finished. Cool. That's also something viable. Here we're not going to do that until we're here. We're going to do a attack finished. Which means now finally that on our attack detection we want to do a function attack finished. And here we want to make sure that attack node dot connect. That's going to be attack finished. Target object is going to be self, and then that obviously is going to be attack finished. There we go. So now here, that's our attack protection. So we need to call a do move. Yeah, exactly. So here we're actually going to say on action is we're going to say signal attack. No, we're going to make that a signal based on Actually, I'm going to just call it do next move. So that's going to be the signal that we register here, which means that here on brain, we're going to say func ready. We also want to do the signal here. We're just going to dot connect do next move. So do next move. There we go. And then in this case, we can go over here, we can go over here, we can go do that, and we can go do next. Actually, I want to actually have that underscore do next move to make it clear that that's an internal function. And now we can do next move connect. There we go. So on our brain, we're connecting the do next move. Oh yeah, that's then going to go like this. Func do next move is just going to be emit signal. Do pass it down the chain. All right. So here in our attack detection, when we create our thing, we're doing attack finished. We're going to call attack finished. In this case, we're going to do emit signal do next move. That's going to call the do next move. So that's that one. Yeah, so that's one action. So here, that's that one. And that calls back to that one, and that goes back to doing the next move. Okay, cool. Let's see if we have it working properly now. Next. Going to attack. Oh, where's my next button go? Oh, that's because it just doesn't work. Because we can't do that until it's finished. Okay. Okay. Think this through. Performing our attack. Let's see if we ever get here. There's a firewall. Actually, let's do that over here. Let's see if that works. Fire. Boom. Attack finished. Goes to there. goes to there. And that doesn't work. Why not? Because it's not linked up. Why is it not linked up? Did I done the wrong thing? Nope. No. Actually, no. I'm going to go and make sure AI brain do next move. That is going to be linked up to enemy character. Do next move. Okay, save. That is linked up. Okay, now it is linked up. Must have clicked the wrong button when I was doing that. Okay, so let's undo that. Don't need you anymore. Now it's going here. Cool. All right. Next. Next. Boom. Next. Next. Boom. Oh, my character is dead. Next. Oh, he's not close enough. Okay. Next. He fires. He fires again. He fires again. And that's when everything ends because we don't have a game over logic yet. So that was expected. So when all our characters are dead, the game dies. That is as far as I'm going to go today. So, I am going to go. And improve. There we go. Sweet. All right, everybody. I think that's it for tonight. It's nearly midnight for me, so it is way past my bedtime. Got a lot of things done today. Fixed up our vehicle demo. Fixed up our old little physics demo thingy and made everything explode properly, which was really cool. And we vastly improved our dungeons AI for the enemies. So we now have a nice structure behind it where we can just create little building blocks for our AI and add them to the character's brain. And the ones that we've created so far, we can configure so that we can have different enemies react differently and behave differently. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to add here to make sure that our characters animate properly and stuff like that. So I think in that, obviously, you know, some of these things we can add signals in, because that's of course the nice thing here is that, for instance, our attack detection, we could add signals in for when we start an attack, or when we well, we already have our signal for well, it's called do next move at this point in time. So that obviously triggers the do next move there, but we might actually have a second signal there that is stop doing that. That will sorry, that was my phone making sounds. Specifically to the sort of things that we're doing, so that we can trigger certain animations. Like, for instance, when we spit a fireball, we actually want our dragon to make a spit fireball animation. And we could do that as part of that, you know, our tech. Actually, I do want to already put that one in there before I forget. So we're going to add a signal to this. Perform attack. Boom. And that obviously means that over here, we're also going to do emit signal for attack. There we go. Boom. So obviously, oops. That's with quotes. There we go. So obviously, that does nothing to the fireball itself, but we could do a little dragon animation that he moves. Now, I don't know if this dragon has an animation that is suitable for that. No, because he just has got flying and hit. He doesn't have a you know, spit animation, but that is something that we could do. And that's the nice thing, is that we now have a generic object that drives things, and we can use it for different things. So we can just hook that perform attack up to a function that would start that animation, and continue with things that way. Hi, Furball, Captain Furball. I'm afraid I'm already closing off for the day. I've been streaming for how long? I don't even know. Does it say somewhere how long I'll be streaming? Probably about 2.5 hours, but it's nearly midnight here, so time to sleep. So yeah, we're basically making the building blocks to create more enemy units. Now, we can't actually attack our units yet. That's also needing to come up. But yeah, it's a pretty cool start for that. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. I do not know when I'm going to do another stream. Right now, I'm just sort of winging it. But I am planning to do a little bit more regularly. Even if they're just short streams, maybe 1 or 2 hours once a week, I probably can start committing to that. We'll see. I don't know yet. Depends a bit on how busy life stays. Definitely want to do some more often, some little news update streams because we are working on quite a lot of things and finishing off quite a lot of things. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. So thank you all for watching. And I hope you tune in next time. So, all right. Bye, everyone. Good night.